Shalom and welcome once again to Elders of GMS, giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Today's topic is entitled, Who are the Gentiles in Romans, the 11th chapter. But before we go into that, I want to go into this subtopic entitled, Mark Them. Now there was a situation, I'm not going to mention the camp. I'm just going to say what I know about the situation, and if the camp that we're talking about, wants to do a video on it and bring it out even further, they can. That's up to them. Anyway, there's a situation, as you know, guys come into this truth, men come into this truth, and men either get kicked out or they fall out, whatever the case may be. Well, this is a situation with a man that is outside of the circle of GMS, so to speak, for whatever reason. Now, this particular person been in the truth for a number of years. I can go far back as the very beginning when we started going on YouTube. So you figure that this particular person been in this thing for maybe 3 years, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, about 3 years, I would say, maybe more. And when this particular man came in, that was the same time when other men came in. So we had a lot of men coming to this truth from watching GMS, on YouTube, and watching the other Israelite groups on YouTube, but through the Spirit was led to follow GMS and found out that GMS gave them everything. Broke down the Hebrew, broke down the scriptures, broke down all kind of topics. If they had any questions concerning something in the scriptures, it was answered one way or another. They might have had a question, and maybe that week they saw a show and it answered their question. So that's why a lot of men came to or clung to GMS and have said out of their own mouths that GMS have to be men of the Lord, men of the Most High. Then they went to the next stage in building up their spiritual confidence and going out on the highways and byways throughout all the different states and outside of the United States. Well, anyway, like I said, this man is no longer within the circle of GMS, whether he was kicked out or whether he left or whatever the situation may be. Now, what I found out, and I knew about this from the old school, from One West back in the 90s, when guys fall out or get kicked out, what they do is they still think that they're in the truth, but instead of them going out there and trying to go out there and just teach, they look on the men that were still in the truth and try to get them to follow them. So that right there shows you that they're not men of the Lord, because they're not saying, well, look, I'm out of it, but I know the truth. I still honor the brothers, but I'm going to go out on my own and try to get as much fruit as I can, and just teach. Well, do that. And this is a situation between you and the Most High. But when you go to brothers that's already in the truth and try to bring them out of the truth to follow you by saying that GMS is going off on this, GMS is going off on that, that's wickedness right there. Well, anyway, there's another brother that I guess they run into each other. Different brothers run into each other, whatever state it might be. You're going to run into the man that fell off or whatever. Now, there was this other brother, from what I heard, he been in the truth for about as long as this brother that we're talking about. And I guess they talk to each other and say shalom. Now, a man that's outside the circle of GMS, basically, you're not supposed to have anything to do with him. Now, you can be cordial with him. You see him, you say shalom, how you doing, how's the wife, how's the family, and leave it at that. If the dude ain't right in the spirit, man, you know, you play it low key. But you don't get and conversate with the guy and let the guy show you scriptures and mess your head up. Now, the guy that got his head messed up, there's no excuse for that. That only proves one thing. The guy that got his head messed up by this guy that's outside the circle of GMS was never rooted. See, you got a lot of actors out there. You got a lot of guys that'll grow a beard. They'll put fringes on the garment. They'll go out there and they'll quote scriptures, but really this is not in their head like it's supposed to be in their head. All right, you got something, Mark? All right, go ahead.
This is the book of 2 John, chapter 1, verse 9. Whosoever transgresseth and abideth not in the doctrine of Yahushai hath not the Most High. He that abideth in the doctrine of Yahushai, he hath both the Father and the Son. If there come any unto you, and bring not this doctrine, receive him not into your house, neither bid him Godspeed. For he that biddeth him Godspeed is partaker of his evil deeds. Having many things to write unto you, I would not write with paper and ink, but I trust to come unto you and speak face to face, that our joy may be full.
Yeah, so now the face-to-face part is we got the internet now. Back then, they didn't have the internet. They didn't have TV sets. They had letters that they sent back and forth to each other, and they actually physically saw brothers out there. But now we got the internet. So now we can see you face-to-face when we put up these shows. All right? Is there more to that? Go ahead.
It said, if there come any unto you, and bring not this doctrine, receive him not into your house, neither bid him Godspeed.
Exactly. So whatever we taught you, the Most High sanctioned us to teach you the truth. Because prior to us setting up videos on YouTube, ain't none of you guys was on the highways and the byways teaching the word. You didn't set up camps out there. You set up camps when you saw us, the men of the Lord, which now you are men of the Lord, and pillars and leaders. All right?
Like the majority of them guys, like 3-4 years ago, they didn't even know they were Israelites.
Exactly. So you didn't know anything. You thought you were an African American, you were Nubian, you were this, you were that, you were a child of the universe. Then you were, as you watched the videos, you grew into the videos, or you grew into watching those videos. Then you received the confidence, and I remember brothers used to send emails to each other or comments and say, "How many of you brothers live in Florida? Hook me up. You know, we got to go out and speak. How many brothers out there live in L.A.? That's, you know, I live in L.A. Is there any brothers we should get together? How many brothers live in Toronto, Texas, whatever the case may be, the Carolinas?" So you guys that came together, for the most part, most of y'all didn't even know each other. Yeah. And then you got to know each other. All right? That's how this truth works. Then your old friends, you leave your old friends of the world. Then you give me 1 Peter's, I believe it's 1 Peter's the 4th chapter, and start from the top. Because when you come into this thing, you have new friends. Your friends are the brothers that you work with. You don't go out on the highways and the byways and teach the word. Then you get with Skeeter and them to go clubbing. All right? Go ahead.
1 Peter chapter 4, verse 1. For as much then as Yahushua hath suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that hath suffered in the flesh has ceased from sin, that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men, but to the will of the Most High.
What's the will of the Most High? Exactly what we're doing. Going out there on the highways and the byways, cursing this devil out, teaching Jake that they're Israel, teaching men that have come into this that want to learn more. Go ahead.
It says, for the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles, when we walked in lasciviousness, lusts.
And who are the Gentiles? You are the Gentiles. The Jakes that you hung out with and clubbed with and went fishing with or played ball with. Those are the Gentiles, man.